everybody, it's Marcy James with OVO, and today I'm going to do a webinar on blogging, Blogging 101. So it's really just the basics about blogging. Whoops, you're not supposed to see that one until the end. So we're just going to go through some basics. We're going to talk about the different types of blogs that you could have, the different platforms that you could use. We're going to look at some tips on marketing. And I'm going completely backwards through the presentation right now. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into that. Before I do not have a moderator on the call with me. So if you have any questions during the webinar, type them into the questions panel. And I will stay online after the webinar and answer all your questions. This webinar will probably take about 45 to 50 minutes, depending on how much I talk. Sometimes I go over, sometimes I go a little bit under, but usually right about 45, 50 minutes. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this, Blogging 101. And why should you be blogging? Why is blogging a great marketing tool for you to use? Well, it's fabulous for many, many reasons. But number one, it's great for relationship marketing because blogging, unlike a traditional website, is more interactive. You can actually interact with the consumer through the blog, through the blog commenting app that's included in most blogs. And you're speaking, usually when you write a blog post, you're speaking in a more conversational tone. You're coming across as a person rather than just a realtor. So you have, with the static website, you tend to speak in a more informational tone, whereas with your blog, it's more conversational, which leads to building relationships with people. And the direct communication you get through the commenting also helps build those relationships. It's also great for lead generation because when someone comments, you get a link, you get a lead back to them. It's also a competitive differentiation. So if your competition in your market is not blogging, it's a great way to differentiate yourself and really set yourself up as a resource for real estate within your community. Blogs are just great for SEO. So if you're blogging, you're probably going to have much better SEO, search engine optimization ranking than your competitor who is not blogging. In today's marketing is all about content marketing. You've probably heard that phrase, content marketing. And one of the best places to market your content is a blog. So if you have a blog, you can put all types of content on there. And if you're optimizing that for SEO, you're going to have a huge increase in your SEO. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we go on. I actually do a whole webinar on SEO. I would love for you to join me on that one. And I'm also putting together a new webinar for December on content marketing, which is going to be really fun as well. So let's move on and look at the different types of blogs that you could create. The first thing you really need to decide on is you need to establish a clear focus for what your blog is going to be about. You need to think about, is it going to be mostly about the real estate industry? Am I going to create a blog that's mostly about real estate, where I'm blogging about, real estate trends, what's going on in the industry, market trends in your community, things like that? Or is it going to be more location-based, where you're really blogging all about location, events that are going on within your location, blogging about the different communities, blogging about leaders, businesses within all location-based content, or is it going to be more niche market-based? And with a niche market, there's actually two different routes you could take. You could take a real estate niche like relocation, REO, something like that, and really become an expert, set yourself up as authority and as an authority within that niche. Or you could even create a blog that has nothing to do with real estate. If you have a hobby or something that you love to do, you could create a cooking blog. And it's okay. You could blog recipes and ideas, and then throw your listings up, or throw content about real estate up there every once in a while to make sure that your readers know that you're a realtor. So you can have a lot of fun with something like that as well. Don't limit yourself to just real estate. If you have a hobby that you really love, go ahead and blog about that. Or you could actually do a combination of all three of these instead of having one clear focus, but you don't want to muck it up too much because you're going to need to get a URL and banners and things like that that really need to apply. So you need to have one clear focus, but then you can kind of throw in additional content about the other two as well. Let's move on and look at which type of media you're going to use. Now there's lots of different media, and I only have a few of them listed here. There's traditional blogging, which is just the written blog, the posts that you write. There's photo blogging. There's video blogging called vlogging. There's content curation, where you're taking content from other blog sources. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. And there's lots of other types of media that you can share on a blog. And you don't have to limit yourself to one of these. I think the best way to blog today, it used to be that people separated these things. You used to see a lot of photo blogs and video blogs and traditional blogs and content curation blogs. And today I think with the content curation trend, the best avenue to go is to create one blog that actually uses all of these different types of media. And it actually makes your blogging easier. It keeps the content interesting to the audience as well. So that's my favorite way, is to just mix it all up. Okay, we're going to take a look at some different blogs now that are great blogs. These are great bloggers. These are people that do a lot of blogging, that are consistent, that have a huge following, that are known for their blogging, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the way that they blog. This is Christina Wise's blog. She's a broker from Austin, Texas, and she has a fabulous blog that's real estate based. It's all about the real estate market. She does throw content in there about the city of Austin occasionally, but it's pretty much a more traditional real estate blog. All right. The next one is my friend Diane Haley Brooks, and she's from a small town in Massachusetts, Templeton, and her blog is more geographic based. She calls it Tuesdays in Templeton, and she does a lot of blogging. She does blogs, history, architecture styles. She'll do seasonal blog posts. She'll do blog posts about events that are going on in the city, and it's really, really location based. Of course, she throws real estate content in there as well, but the whole focus of her blog is location, location, location. And then you have niche blogs like Susie Blockman, who specializes in the equestrian properties in Ocala, Florida. And her blogs are really fun. She has a bunch of them. I think she probably has 5 or 6 different blogs. But if you landed on any one of them, you would immediately recognize it as Susie Blockman, because she's done such a fabulous job of branding herself with this retro cowgirl look. So all of her blogs have the same kind of look and feel, but they all kind of cover different topics and different arenas of this cowgirl theme. So, but she blogs about all sorts of things that have to do with horses, from equestrian properties to great clothing and gear that she finds online to country western songs and videos from YouTube. She really has fun with this theme. Okay. And then you can also curate content. This is just a screen capture from a Tumblr blog. It's OBO's Tumblr blog, where we curate content, and we curate content from lots of great real estate news sources: Agent Genius, Inman News, a lot of top real estate blogs from around the U.S. and Canada, and we curate them into one blog that's called Real Estate Headlines. And followers can just follow one blog and have a stream of all of the, what we consider to be the best real estate news in the industry. So you can also curate content, but don't be afraid to throw curated content into one of your blog posts. If you have a traditional blog or whatever your blog is, and you find a great article that you can share, that you would like to share, you can easily do that, as long as you give credit. And we'll take a look at this as we move on, and a little bit closer as we move on in the webinar. So after you've kind of figured out the focus of your blog, you're going to have to get a URL if you don't already have one. And remember that URLs are indexed by the search engine, so you want to include keywords if possible. Other things to remember about your URLs is that it should be easy to remember and easy to spell, and it should be relevant to what the main focus of the blog is about. And then try to get a .com. Sometimes the URL that you want is already sold in a .com, and people will go for a .net or a .us, but it's really best to get a .com if possible. Okay, let's look at the different platforms. I'm going to go over 4 different platforms today that I think are probably the best for depending on where you are and what you're doing and what your focus is going to be. And those for are ActiveRain, Tumblr, and then the 2 WordPresses, WordPress.com and WordPress.org. And we'll talk a little bit about the differences between these 2 as well. Okay, ActiveRain. I love ActiveRain. It is a very unique community. It's more than a blogging platform. It's really a social community, and it is a platform that was created for the real estate industry. So there's tons of other realtors that blog there, and it's a very supportive community. I find that when I blog on ActiveRain, I get a ton of support from other bloggers within the community. They comment, they'll tell me, great job, loved your post. It's just a very encouraging environment to blog in. But if you want your blogs to be public, and of course you do because you guys are blogging to your sphere, which is not necessarily other realtors, but the geographic community that you live in, you need to purchase a membership. And I haven't checked lately, so I'm not exactly sure what the membership fees are, but they're probably around $30, $40, or $50 a month, somewhere in there. But it's a great platform, and you don't have to pay for any special customization. You don't have to pay for SEO, because guess what? Because there are so many realtors that blog on ActiveRain. Another fabulous feature about ActiveRain is that it has incredibly good SEO. Google and Bing and all of the top search engines immediately, if you're blogging on ActiveRain, they immediately give you a ton of authority, a ton of credit for the real estate industry, because this is such a known resource, such an authority on real estate. So if you have an ActiveRain blog, you're going to get really good SEO out of that, and that's another great reason to use it. If you're a beginner, it's just easy to use. It's a really easy to use platform, and again, the community is fabulous. So I really love ActiveRain. The negative side to ActiveRain is that you don't own your content. Your content is basically, when you're blogging on ActiveRain, you're blogging on their platform. They pretty much have your content locked up there. And if ActiveRain would ever go out of business and close the doors, you're going to lose your blog and your content. Now, you could have a good idea would be to have your content duplicated somewhere offline. So every time you create a blog post on ActiveRain, create a Word doc and duplicate that blog there. So if you ever decide to leave ActiveRain, you have all of your old blog posts that you can go ahead and duplicate into another platform. Make some minor changes to them before you do that. Okay, let's move on and look at Tumblr. Tumblr is a very unique platform. It's a free platform, and depending on your blogging need, what your goals are with blogging, this can be a really fun platform to use. And Tumblr, again, is a very social platform. It's almost hard to explain. It's almost like a social site. There's a lot of people that are just totally obsessed with Tumblr, and it's really fun for sharing all types of content. I'm actually going to go over to OBO's Tumblr blog because it's so hard for me to really explain. This is the dashboard for one. I actually manage 3 different Tumblr blogs for OBO. One of them, this is our real estate headlines that I'm on right now. This is where we curate content from. And I actually have a little plug-in up here. So let me just show you. Let me pull up. Okay, here's an article I was reading earlier on Pinterest, that Pinterest is now has business pages, and I have to figure out how I haven't finished reading it yet, which is why it's still up. But if I wanted to share this to my Tumblr blog, I have a little plug-in here. I'm just going to show you how easy this is. And I'm going to go down here and click on Tumblr. This is how you curate content to a Tumblr blog. Whoops, I think I just closed that. Did I lose it? Nope, it's right here. I was going to open it up a little more so you can see it better. So up here at the top, there's all these different ways I could share this post. I could share it as a photo, and it's going to pull up this photo. I could share it as text, in which case I would want to grab some of this text. Let's just say I'm going to grab well, I would probably want to grab all of it, or I could just grab like the first paragraph. I'm going to copy it, pull that window back up, and I could say, let's do a quote. and I could put that first paragraph in here as a quote, and then it's going to go in there as a, whoops, I didn't get that paragraph. Oh yeah, I did. There it is. Or I could share it as a link, or there's no video here, so I'm not going to click video, but let's just put it up there as a photo. And then I'm going to go down here and select which of my 3 blogs I want it to go into. I'll put it into social media. And then I can actually click advanced if I want to and put some tags in here, which I'm not going to do right now. And then I would click create post. And it would create that post for me. And here is the Obia post. So if you post it as a photo, this is what it looks like. It comes in as a photo. It has the link here, the title, the link, and then sometimes I'll add a little paragraph of content below. And then it pulls in the source for me. It says source right here, AGB. Anybody can go here, right here, to go to the Agent Genius blog and get the original content. I have the share button right here, so anybody's reading this blog can click quickly, share this. They can tweet it. They can post it to Facebook, Pinterest, or Google+. And guess what? When they are sharing this content, they're not sharing back to the original Agent Genius post. When I share the content from here, I'm bringing readers back to my blog. So this is why it's a great, why content curation is great. If you're going to share an article on Facebook or Twitter, curate it to your blog first. You can do, if you use Tumblr, it's really easy to do, but you can do this on any blog as well, any traditional blog. And there's probably plugins that will do this for WordPress. I don't have one installed, but they're probably out there. But even if you don't have a plugin, grab the photo, grab the title, grab a little paragraph, and just put source AGB and a link back to the original content, and you're good to go. You can share this from your blog as well. And then what happens is when you share it, you're bringing people, and people click to read the link, you're bringing people back to your blog post, this right here, where they can then, look through your blog rather than sending them directly to Agent Genius. So it's just a way to bring more traffic over to your blog. All right, so let's go back to PowerPoint. And again, tons of different templates on Tumblr. You can get really creative. Let me just show you. Let's see if I can show you. Whoops, let me go back here and look at another one. Let's go to the regular Obio blog. That's the dashboard. Let me pull the blog up. You can see it. So I have lots of different templates in here. This is this is where I post. I do Instagramming and when I do photo blogging, this is where I post all of our photos from Obio. Close out of that. I don't want to have too much open at one time because it's going to pull resources. Okay. Back to Tumblr. It's great for mobile posting as well. You can post right from your phone. It's an incredibly social platform. There's a lot of people that use it just like they would Facebook. They share your content. They'll comment on your content. It's great for photo blogging. It's just a really fun platform to use. Okay, let's move on and look at WordPress.com. Oh, I did not mention, again, Tumblr. If Tumblr goes out of business, you're going to lose your content. You don't own your content on Tumblr. It's owned by the site Tumblr. I don't think Tumblr's going anywhere. It's probably, I think it's in the top 5 of most trafficked websites or trafficked social sites. So it's a very popular blogging platform, very social, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I wouldn't worry about it. WordPress.com is a free platform. Again, you don't own your content. If WordPress.com would go somewhere, you could lose your content. Again, I don't think WordPress.com is going to go anywhere anytime soon. But what I would do if I was blogging on this platform is I would probably duplicate my content, my blog posts in a Word document somewhere else, keep them, so that should you ever lose your content for whatever reason, you still have all of your written posts in another location. But the great thing about WordPress.com is if you think you could possibly be a serious blogger someday, this may be the best place for you to start out. There's some great templates for you to choose from. Some of them are already real estate designed, so they have real estate banners. Really fun and easy to use. As far as being able to use plugins, and if you're not familiar with blogging, you probably don't even know what a widget or a plugin is. But when you're using WordPress.com, you can't use those. So you're very limited with the customization that you can do. But still, it's a great place to start out. Now, if you want to use your blog as your website, which a lot of realtors do now, and import IDX, which is, IDX is your listings for your, you can pull and purchase, or most MLSs provide you with a free IDX feed. You can also purchase, there's tons of vendors out there where you can purchase the feeds from if you want a little upgraded version with some good built-in SEO and things like that. But if you want to import the listings through an IDX feed, you're not going to be able to do that with a WordPress.com. But it's a great platform to start on. And the reason I like it for starters is because as you get into blogging and as you grow and as you start to enjoy it more, then you can easily convert this into a WordPress.org blog. It's a very simple process to convert it, and once you're on WordPress.org, you're going to own your content. You do have to pay for, you have to find a place to host your content, and you're going to pay for that hosting. It varies. It could be anywhere from $10 to $15 a month, depending on the vendor you use. Unless you're really good at design, you're probably going to want to pay somebody to do some customization work on your blog at this point, and that could be anywhere from, a couple hundred up to a couple $1,000s. But you're going to own your content. You're going to be the owner of the site. You're going to have complete control. You're going to have unlimited plugins and widgets and things like that you can use, and you'll be able to use it as a complete website and import IDX. So most top bloggers, most of the blogs that I showed you earlier in the webinar are probably on the WordPress.org platform. So this is where eventually you're probably going to end up if you're a great blogger. Okay. I want to just point out a few blog elements that I want you to pay attention to. No matter what format you're using, you're going to have a choice of templates. You're going to look through a bunch of different templates before you choose the one that you're going to use for your blog. And there's just a few things I want you to pay attention to as you're looking through these. Okay, contact forms and social links. Make sure you choose a blog template that has a contact form in it, that it gives contact and allows you to add your contact up front. Now, studies have shown the very best place to have your contact information is in the upper right-hand corner of the page. This is what Jamie Coffey's blog shows right here. It has her contact information and her phone number right up here in the upper right quadrant of her blog. Also in the upper right quadrant, she has her social links. And this, she wouldn't even have to have the contact information right here, the phone number. She could even just have a link, and that would be fine as well, as long as it's obvious and easy to find, okay? And then the links to all of her other social media sites, because of course you want to link up with people in as many places as possible, which will help you really get to know each other and build that relationship through your other social sites. Okay. Archives and categories, and especially for you guys that are beginners, I want to just explain what these are and the differences. And you can look at these, look for these options as you're choosing templates. Now, if you're choosing like a WordPress.com, they're built in. You may not see it in the template, but they're in the back. You can always add these. They're built into the system. So categories, as you blog, every post that you create, you can add a category. You can place it into a category or create a category for that post. Now, categories are a way for users who come to your blog to find content that's based on a category. So if maybe you're blogging, you want to have market reports. You could actually create a category for whatever your city is, Westminster market reports. And another thing to remember when you're creating your categories is your category names are indexed by the search engines. So try to, I didn't realize that. When I created the category names on the OBO blog, I had no idea they were being indexed by search engines. And I really need to go in and totally change them now, because they're not as search friendly as I would like them to be. But especially for the real estate industry, where you are blogging to a very specific geographic audience, try to include a geographic keyword in as many of your categories as possible. So it would be, whatever your city name is, Westminster market reports, Westminster small businesses, Westminster top 10 lists, history of Westminster. So always, you know, when you create these categories, always try to give them a name that includes both a geographic phrase and a search phrase. And then there's archives. And archives are just a different way for a consumer to search through your blog. In archives, all of your blog posts are just indexed by date. So somebody, maybe they were on your blog back in October and they read a post that they really loved, and instead of scrolling through, because on blogs, you know, you just have to scroll down to find content if you don't have these options there. So you definitely want to give people the ability to visit your blog and browse through the different categories, but also archive it by date, because maybe this person that was on your blog back in October, they saw a recipe, and instead of looking through categories, they just want to click on October and go back and find that October recipe that they loved. So give viewers or users of your blog the choice to do both if you can. Okay, another thing is site search. Now there's some different theories on site search, especially if you're a beginner blogger who doesn't have a lot of content on your blog. Some people will tell you not to have a site search because it's frustrating if someone searches and you don't have enough content where it brings up any results. However, I disagree. I think you should always include a site search field, because if you don't have it and somebody wants it, they're going to be even more frustrated. I can tell you, if I go to, usually when I land, many times when I land on a site, I'll use the site search field. And if I can't, there's many times that I haven't been able to find it, and it's really frustrating to me when I land on a site that does not have the site search ability. So just think about that when you're looking at the different templates. I would highly recommend that you include the site search, even if you're a beginner blogger. All right. And then subscription by email and RSS feed. You need to include both of these because people like to subscribe in different methods. I'm an RSS feed person, and I use Google Reader, and it pulls in feeds from, oh my gosh, probably 200 to 300 different blogs that I pull in content on a daily basis. And it pulls into my reader, so my reader kind of looks almost like an email account. It's pulling in headlines from all of these different blogs, so I don't have to go to 200 different blogs to see what they posted on any given day. It's all pulled in for me, and that's what a feed does. So when you create your blog, you're going to want to set up a feed, and Feed Reader is a great place to do that, but always include a feed if you can, because people like me, a lot of people are like me, they love to be able to import through a feed. But also you want to have email, because there's a lot of people that aren't as techy and they don't have any idea what this little orange symbol means or what a feed is, and they just want your blog by email. So you want to include that as well, and it's also a great way to capture email addresses. So give people the ability to subscribe by email and to subscribe by a feed. Social sharing. Now, unless you're using WordPress.org, you're not going to have a lot of control over this. So what I'm showing here, these are all plugins that you can use. These are only available if you're on the WordPress.org site. And I'm going to talk about these a little bit. But whatever site you're using, whatever platform you're using, and let me just pull back, you can install different plugins. So let me go back to the Tumblr real quick and just show you. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Let me go back to my dashboard here, and I'm going to pull up the Real Estate Headlines blog, and I'm going to click on that to open it. And so this was built into the template that I choose. So under each post, there's this little share button. If you click on the share, again, I showed you this earlier, it opens up Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and Google+. Probably the top 4. I wish it had LinkedIn as well, but these are great platforms for sharing. And so this was built in, and it really is, I like the way that it is interactive with the color. As you hover over these, they change color, which really makes it kind of fun and inviting to use. So anyway, this is what social sharing is. You want to have these included. So as you're looking through the different templates, pay attention to whether or not they have a built-in sharing app. You definitely want to be able, for readers to be able to share your content, because ultimately that's a huge goal with blogging, is to get your content to go viral through shares. All right, so pay attention to that as you're looking at the different templates. Now, if you're using a WordPress.org blog, the sky's the limit. There's literally hundreds and thousands, probably thousands of different plugins that you could potentially use. But pay attention. This is from Janie Coffey's blog again, and one of the things I learned from her, and I copied on the Obio blog that I loved, is that she put plugins, social sharing plugins, at the top and the bottom of every post. And let me show you the Obio blog real quick so I can show you how we did that as well. If you notice, here's a post from last week, and we put these social sharing at the top, let me scroll down, and at the bottom of every post. So it just makes it that much easier for our users to share our content, that much more inviting, and it reminds them, please, we want our content shared, please share it. Okay, some of these other plugins, this one is called, oops, do you see my mouse? This one right here is called Sexy Bookmarks. And it's kind of interactive in the way as, this is just a screenshot, but when you see it on the blog and you hover over these, they move, they'll pop up and pop down. So it's a really inviting and fun plugin to use because it interacts in a way. It moves as you hover over it, which really encourages people to share content again. Then again, this blog is kind of like what we use on Obios. We just have the different plugins. But I wanted to, I put this screenshot here because I wanted to show you that you can see they include the numbers of shares each of these has had. And you can see Facebook, 73 people shared this post on Facebook, 571 tweeted it. There was only 5 digs and 4 Google Buzz. Nobody even uses Google Buzz anymore. So obviously, the ones that are really important here are Facebook and Twitter, but I think Pinterest is hugely important now, and Google Plus as well. The SEO that you get from Google Plus is incredible, so giving people the option to share on Google Plus, I think, is really important. And then the other one that I also really like is LinkedIn. So those are the 5 that I would include if I were you. I would do Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and Google Plus. And then this is another one I wanted to show you. This is this gray bar here is a social sharing plugin called Appshare. And it stays at the top of the blog no matter what page the viewer is on. It's always there, and it just is a reminder you can share this page on Facebook, Twitter, or email. So that's another option. Okay. Let's move on and look at things that you could post. The sky's the limit here, and the more creative you are, the more fun you'll have with this. But there is never a lack of content that you could create as a realtor. I do blogging for Obio. And it's a business blog, and so I can't get as personal as I could if I were in your shoes. So I don't have as much flexibility, but as a realtor, you're very flexible with what you can post here. You could do, and some of these things you need to add to your blog, but not promote them. And I'm going to go over what some of those are right now. So when you before you start promoting your blog, when you're putting content into your blog, you need to do a professional profile on yourself. And then you're going to create a category called about me or about Marcy James, whatever you want to call it. I would use your name in there so that it's more, again, remember those category names are indexed by the search engines. So create a profile on, it's basically a bio of yourself, a professional profile. Give your history, how long you've been in real estate, tell your story, promote yourself right there. You're not going to tweet that one out, that page out. You're not, it's just there so that if someone lands on your blog and they enjoy what they're reading and they want to learn more about you, they can click on that category. So that's important. Also, include awards and recognition, and you might want to create a category for that as well. And if you get awards, whenever you get recognition, you should include that. And those are not posts that you're going to promote very often. Occasionally, you might want to promote one of those, or you might call a close friend and say, hey, would you mind tweeting my blog post or something like that, and I'll tweet yours next time. But it would be a little too self-promotional to really start posting those to Facebook. in my personal opinion, and Twitter and different places. But you should have that information on your blog for people to find. If they, again, if they land there, they're interested in you, they want to know more about you, they should be able to see the different awards and recognition that you've received. So have that on your blog. Those are just posts that you're not necessarily going to do a lot of promotion on. Client testimonials as well. You should create a category for client testimonials and add them as you get them. If it's an email, you may want to make sure you get the client's permission before you take that email and share it publicly on your blog. But I would definitely share emails. You can do screen captures. You can do copy and paste with those. There's different ways to do them, but add those as well. And then you can create your own. You can do video testimonials with your clients and add them. So there's lots of fun things you can do. You can do interviews, a written interview if you'd like magazine type interview with a client, and that could be a testimonial. Okay, also now let's move on to other those are the only three things that I would add that I wouldn't necessarily do a lot of promotion on those posts. Those are things you should add before you actually start promoting your blog so that they're there and ready to be found once you really start blogging and promoting. Okay, these are the other different things that you could blog about. Think about things that relocation clients would need to know about your community and blog about those. Do business reviews. Anytime a new business opens, go find the owner, do a little interview with them, write a blog post about it, and guess what? That business owner is going to help you promote that blog post because he's going to love the fact that you're blogging about them. And if he has any type of social sites, if he has a Facebook page, Twitter account, he's going to be posting your blog to his audience. So that's going to open you up to a whole new audience of potential followers. So doing business reviews can really help open you up and bring in new followers to your blog. How-tos. How-tos are fabulous for SEO as well. People love how-tos. It's one of the most searched phrases in Google, how to do this. So how to prepare your home for photography, how to create curb appeal, how to stage the master bedroom, how, there are all sorts of different how-tos that you could create for the real estate industry. You can also do neighborhood blog posts, which are another fabulous thing. People need to know about the different neighborhoods, so you could actually create a category on your blog for each of the different neighborhoods you typically work in. You could do a written blog post about them. You could do seasonal photo blog posts. You could take each neighborhood and do a best, spring garden, a best, holiday decor, and just highlight the home that you think did the best job. There's all sorts of different ways that you could blog about each neighborhood. So you could create a category for each one and then add content as you go. Also, you could do a blog about the different architectural styles that are in your neighborhood, especially if you live in an area where there's lots of historic homes and things like that. That's really fun to do. And then, of course, the history. Most of us live in areas that are deep with history, and you could do blogging. It doesn't even have to be about an historic location. It could be about an historic event that took place that you could blog about. And then, of course, the locations are always fun because you can go out and take photos and then do a shorter written blog post that go with the photos. You could blog about a new technology tool that you like. You could review all of the area parks. Top 10 lists are fabulous. Lists are actually one of my favorite ways to blog. I love to blog lists because they're really super easy. You could do top 10 lists like the top 10 coffee shops in Denver, the top 10 places to get a buffalo burger in Denver, the top 10, or I could even do the top 5 ski resorts in the state of Colorado. I mean, whatever, I could create all sorts of top 10 lists for the state of Colorado, the top 10 hikes, the top, whatever, the top 10 snowshoeing paths. So create your top 10 lists for your community. Those are really fun and easy to do. They don't have to, they could be more community related. They don't have to do with the real estate industry. Also, you can do events like big concerts, fairs, rodeos, sporting events that go on within your community. And you can do video blogs. Those are really fun to do video blogs, especially if you're going to be going there with your family. Do a little video blog about the event as you go there. Although sometimes you can't do that at concerts, but you could at other events. And then you can also explain real estate, what what people should expect at closing, what's earnest money, how does, explain a contract, all these different things. There's lots of different things about the real estate transaction that especially a first-time home buyer would benefit from understanding. So you can blog about that. You can even throw in stuff that has nothing to do with community or real estate. If it's, especially when it's seasonal, like Thanksgiving is next week, throw up your favorite Thanksgiving recipe. Throw up your favorite holiday recipe, a Christmas recipe, your favorite New Year's drink recipe. And those are all fun things you could do. You could also throw in a really personal post about a special childhood memory about Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, however you celebrate the holidays. Throw in a special Christmas memory or something like that. So don't be afraid to blog. Throw in an occasional personal post like that. All right, let's move on to recurring post ideas. This is my favorite way to blog. In fact, I'd be lost if I didn't have a calendar. I really suggest that you create a blogging calendar. And within that calendar, you should decide, okay, I'm going to blog twice a week. And if you, at least once a week, you put in a reoccurring blog post, you already know what you're going to be blogging about ahead of time. You're not going to sit down at your computer and, oh my gosh, what am I going to blog about today? So, once a month you could do a top 10 post. So that could be a reoccurring, the monthly top 10 or the top 5, whatever you decide to make it. You could do a monthly Q&A, question and answer, and use frequently asked questions. So the second Tuesday of every month you're going to do a Q&A post. You could do a monthly business profile so that the first Friday of every month you're gonna be posting a business profile, or maybe every other month you're going to review a local business. Those are really fun, actually. You could do a monthly historical blog post. So the second Tuesday of every month you're going to do a historical blog post. A monthly market stats. That's pretty much a given for you guys. You should do a monthly market stats. You could do upcoming events within your community. I see a lot of realtors doing that. So you're going to have to go out to all the local sites like the Chamber of Commerce, the city sites, and pull up all the events, especially at this time of the year. There's all sorts of holiday events going on. Create a blog post. But you could do this on a monthly basis with all of the major, events that are going on within your community, and post that and be a resource. That's a great way to really bring people to your blog on a regular basis, is to review your events post. You could do monthly neighborhood videos. So once a month you're going to go out to a new neighborhood and do a video post about that neighborhood. You could profile a luxury property once a month. So pick a fabulous property out of the MLS. You can go and take your own photos of that property if you'd like from the front, or do whatever you'd like, and do a blog post about this fabulous property that's up for sale, even though it's not your listing. You could do a monthly photo series based. You could pick like one spot, and every month you go back there and take a photo and just show. It's really a fun way, and you take the same photo each month, and it's just a fun way to show the seasonal changes of one particular spot. And I think that's a really a fun way to do a fun series to do as well. And then you could do a monthly how-to post. Again, those how-to posts are great for SEO, and they get shared a lot. The posts that are how-to tend to go the most viral. So another great way to get opened up to a new audience. Okay. Let's look at some other tidbits here. How to end your blog posts. As you're blogging, there's besides just the content, there's a few other things that you need to have included in every blog post. And one, you should sum up your key message in every blog post. So somewhere near the end, you should have a little summary. You should also use a call to action at the end of every blog post, because that's not the end. And the call to action can really vary from post to post. Sometimes my call to action is something like, be sure to check out this blog post, blah, 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 as well, and I'll include a link to another blog post on the same topic. And which, especially for you when you're doing these series, like if you did a business review, you could say, be sure to check out last month's business review on blah, 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 and put a link to that. So that's a fun way. You can ask a question also at the end of a blog post, which encourages commenting, So don't be afraid to do that. Again, I already mentioned this link to another blog post that you've written. You can ask the reader to share your post. That's always a great call to action. You can tell the reader what's coming next. You can say, next month I'm going to be reviewing, or next week I'll be reviewing blah, 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 coffee shop. Be sure to stay tuned for that post. So always have a call to action or a link to other posts, things like that at the end of your blog post. Where to find content. Now, I think I may have forgotten to mention it, but you guys are all going to be emailed these slides. So you'll get copies of this. Don't worry about trying to write all these sites down. But these are some great places to find content. So you're going to want to, visit the top news sites for your community on a regular basis, and you guys are going to know what those are. Sites like alltop.com and regator.com are also great resources to use for gathering data on a certain topic. So let me just let me pull up Firefox real quick, because that's where I have my links to those two sites, and show you what those two sites look like. So I'm just going to click. I have the shortcut saved here at the top. I'm going to click on All, and I have it saved to go to the real estate. So that was my keyword, but you could use anything you wanted. If you even have a hobby, you could put that in here and pull in content related to your hobby. And what this does is it pulls in content from top blogs everywhere. So I can browse through here and just see the headlines from some of the top resources in real estate, see what's going on. This is a great resource to use also for my real estate curation site. So I get a lot of content when I'm trying to gather content to put on our curation site. I use this link a lot. So. And then regator is very similar. Again, it just pulls in content. You put in your topic, and it's going to pull in content about that topic for you, blog posts. And these are all blogs and websites that it considers to be an authority on that topic. Industry news sites like Inman News, Agent Genius, the OBO Real Estate Headlines blog, those are all great sources as well. Google Maps, amazingly enough, can be a great resource. Go to Google Maps, and you may want to go there and say historic locations and put a zip code in and see what comes up. There's lots of fun things you can do on Google Maps. If you live in a larger metropolitan area, travel sites like Travelocity can be a really fun resource as well, because they do all sorts of write-ups on points of interest and great destination things within your community. So those are fun to use as well. And again, you can curate content, or you can also take that content and create your own blog posts. So if there's a certain, if you find a historic location on a travel site that you want to write, read that blog post, do some Google research, pull up some other blog posts that were written about that historic site or whatever it is, and then write your own post. Change it up. But you can, it's just like writing a school report. You're going to get out there and find resources, 6 or 7 different, and this is always what I do when I write a blog post. I'll Google it. I'll find 6 or 7 different posts that I think were written really well about the topic. I'll read all of them, and then I'll write my own blog posts and make sure I include what I think were top. I don't copy, but I make sure that I pull what I think were the best out of all of those and include that in my rewritten blog post. Okay, Chamber of Commerce sites are also great for content. City and community sites, so all of your city and community, and then of course the top 2 search engines in the world, Google and YouTube. Okay, another tidbit is you should have a photo. Unless you're doing a video post or a content curation post, you should have a photo in every single blog post. Photos really, really help your SEO. And so they're easy to use. They let you market your listings, and people love sharing photographs. They're one of the most viral types of content on the internet. So just a little plug for OBO. This is, one of our photos here. And if you pay for a professional photographer, you're going to get some really stunning photos that you can use in your marketing, which makes marketing your real estate listings fun. So my favorite way, whether you're blogging or whether you're putting something on Facebook, especially for Facebook, I say take that incredible photo, post it onto Facebook, and leave a vague comment. Wouldn't you love to, have a dinner party or entertain at this pool, something like that, just a comment. And then if people know you're a realtor, if they're curious, they're going to start asking questions. Wow, that's amazing. Where is this property located? How much is it? And that creates engagement. If you give all of the information in your post, if you say this property is for sale and you put a link in there to the listing where you're giving all of the information away, guess what? They don't need to talk to you. They can get that information on their own. But when you make it engaging, when people start, asking questions, you're engaging with them, you're starting to build a relationship with them. And that's my favorite way to post. Now, if I were doing it as a blog post, I would include the photo and I would include limited information. And I would include a link where they could go to get more information. But when I'm posting it to Facebook, I don't include that. I just do the photo. I would do the photo and a vague comment and see what kind of engagement I can get. And then as people start engaging and asking more questions, in the comments, I can include a link where people can go to get more information. But I'm going to engage with them and talk with them first, okay? All right. Let's move on. Where to find legal photos. And I have to say number 7 here is not going to be in your slides. You might want to write this one down because I just added it this morning. It's called depositphotos.com, and it's my new favorite place to get photos and graphic images for my blog posts because they're incredibly cheap. I'm spending on average about $2 per photo. If I go to iStock or one of those, they're like $15 to $25 per photo, even in a low res. It's incredibly expensive. But Deposit Photos has gorgeous, incredibly great graphic images for $2 a piece. So I love Deposit Photos. But there's lots of places where you can get free images as well. And I get a lot from creativecommons.org. This is probably my favorite place to get free photos. You want to make sure, the idea here is that you're using photos that are legal. You're not violating any copyright issues. So you have to make sure you're using the right resources to grab these photos. All right. Okay, let's move on to some SEO tips for blogging. Now, as I said earlier, blogging is one of the fastest ways to really improve your SEO. It's all about creating content and optimizing that content. Now, the search engines love text, so write. My suggestion is every blog post you write should have one SEO keyword phrase as its target. Maybe that phrase is golf course homes in Thornton, Colorado. That's where I live. And your SEO phrase could be, or the title of your post could be the top 10 golf course homes in Thornton, Colorado. So golf course homes in Thornton, Colorado is in there. Now within the text of your blog post, that exact same phrase should be in there once or twice. You don't want to overdo it. You want to keep it conversational. But include that within your post somewhere. And then you're also going to tag when you post, you're allowed to put tags. You're going to use that keyword phrase as the tag as well. So that's how you really optimize for a specific keyword phrase. Again, whatever phrase you choose, every blog post you write should have one phrase that you're using. It should be in the title, it should be in the body of the post, it should be in the tags for the post. Some other tips, Google loves, as I mentioned, number 1, text. Even if you're doing a photo blog or a video blog, don't just do a photo or a video, include text. Write a paragraph about the video before you embed the video. Write a paragraph about the photo, under or above, it doesn't matter, about the photo, and include your keyword phrase within the text. So always include text, even if you're just doing a quick photo blog. Formatting. Google loves formatting. And again, lists, that's one of the easiest types of blog posts to create is a list. So lists, bolded words, subheadings, italic, whatever type of formatting that you can add to your blog to actually bullet points are great to make it easier to read as well. There's lots of reasons why Google likes formatting, but probably number 1, people like reading formatted posts because they're easier to read. You can browse through them a lot faster. So that's probably the number 1 reason that Google likes formatting as well. It's going to give your post priority over one that's simply paragraph after paragraph of text. Google also loves fresh content. So if there's a hot topic going on, blog about it. Sandy, Hurricane Sandy was a very hot topic in the news. So if you were a realtor in the Northeast and you wrote a blog post about how Hurricane Sandy affected your community, that post would probably rank very high in the search engines. But you can throw some really cool hot topics in. Maybe there's a movie, a hot new movie that's trending. Write a movie review about it, or you could even, I've seen people do comparisons, or weave references to movies into their blog posts, and it really helps with SEO, especially if it's not just movies, but when I said movies, I'm referring to any hot topic or any trending topic. Use outbound links. Outbound links are links that go to other sites. So within every blog post that you write, my recommendation is to have 2 links that go to other blog posts that you've written. So they would be posts that are within your site, within your blog. So it could be maybe you're writing a blog about one of the neighborhoods. You're doing something, something about one of the neighborhoods. Within that, you should also have a link to one of the other posts that you created about that same neighborhood. And then another post that maybe goes to another page on your site. And then you can also should include an outbound link to one other resource that is not on your site, one other website. It could be something from your local news channel. It could be from the Wall Street Journal real estate section. Whatever it is, try to choose a resource that matches the topic of the blog post. So if you're blogging about your community, you would want to choose, like if it's a community geographic type post, you would want to choose a geographic based resource, a resource that's well known. So your newspaper, the Denver Post, or the Denver News Channel, the top news channel, whatever. I could use something from one of their links and link to that in my blog post. Or if it's a real estate related post, I can link to another real estate resource. So when you link to another, the key though is to keep the topic related to the post. That's where you get the most benefit, is when the source that you're linking to has a relation to the content that you're writing about. And if that source has high authority, if it's a popular authority like, or a well-known authority like the Denver Post or the Wall Street Journal, one of those, you're going to get a lot of SEO out of that. It actually really helps. The key is when you're adding a link, you usually have the ability to add it as a pop-up, and that's what I always do when I'm putting those links into other sources. Even my own sources, I always add them as a pop-up, so that when my viewers click on that link, they're not actually leaving the page they're on. It's just the new page is popping up in another viewer. And then Google loves location, so locational information, geographic information. So always try to include that in your blog posts as well. Okay, I think I'm probably going over, so I'm going to try to get through the rest of this pretty quickly. But just creating your blog post and writing it is only half the journey. You still have to promote it, and there's lots of different ways. So I'm going to go over these pretty quickly. But let's look at blog directories. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of blog directories, and this is going to be an ongoing battle for you. This is really, really great for SEO. It's an important thing to do, and one of the things you may do is you may do a Google search for the top 100 blog directories. There's a few that are really important. Technorati, Alltop, definitely do those, but there's literally hundreds of blog directories out there where you want to get your blog registered. And it helps with SEO for numerous reasons. But it's a really important step. And a lot of these, you basically have to go to them, and it's almost like filling out a resume about your blog. You have to tell them what your blog is about, and lots of great information. So it's time consuming, but what I would do is I would set aside, 5 to 10 minutes a week and say, each week I'm going to submit to at least one blog directory every week. When you're first creating your blog, maybe you want to sit down for an hour and submit to 10 or 15 different blog directories, and then just have it on your calendar. and check it off as you do it. Every week you're going to add 1 or 2 more directories. So that way you're not going to sit down and spend one full day of your life submitting your blog to directories. It's just going to be an ongoing thing that you do as part of your marketing. Okay, guest blogging. It's another great way to really grow your authority and your name, and to open up your blog to a new audience. So my recommendation is you're not going to have a lot of luck with guest blogging until you really become a successful blogger. So don't try this right away, but if you're, like I see my friend Leslie Lambert on here, if you're Leslie Lambert, you should definitely be trying this. So Leslie, go out to that mommy blogger that's within your community, or find another, maybe there's a foodie within your community that has a great blog, and go out to them and say, hey, let's exchange blog posts. So with that mommy blogger, you could say, I would love to write a post for your blog about how to prepare or about the best kid-friendly neighborhoods in wherever it is, say Denver, and then you could ask the mommy blogger if you could please write a blog post for me on how to prepare your children for a move, and then you both exchange these posts. So when she has a post on your blog, guess what? She's going to help you promote that because she wrote that post. So she's going to be tweeting that post. She's going to be putting it on her Facebook page. She's going to be sending that post out to her sphere, which opens you up to this whole new audience. Now you've been opened up to her audience, and the same thing then when she blogs on you, on your, when you blog on hers, she's going to be promoting that, and it's the same thing. You're doing the same favor for her. She's opening herself up to your audience, and you're opening yourself up to her audience. So it's just a great way to grow your audience. Okay, social media. Of course, you're going to promote your blog posts on all of your social media sites. So Twitter, don't be afraid to create 4 or 5 different Twitter posts for each blog post that you write. You're just going to make them different each time. So what I do, and I schedule them over probably a 2 to 3 day period, so I'm not sending 5 blog posts in one day about or 5 tweets in one day about my blog post. So what I normally do is I go to the blog post, and I'll pull, the first one I'll do is I'll use the title of the blog post and the link, and I'll schedule that tweet. Then I'll go back to the blog post, and I'll pull different sentences out that are interesting, and I'll put that sentence in with the link, and I'll schedule that for the next day. And so each time I tweet my blog post, there's a different message. The link is always the same. It's always the link to the same blog post, but the message is different. So each time, so it doesn't look the same. And then I'll schedule those over, a 2-day period usually, probably about 4, twice a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, over, for 2 days, so that's 4 posts. Another little app that I really like is Networked Blogs. And I don't like auto posting. I'm real picky about Facebook. I like to do my Facebook posts manually. But let me show you how I use Networked Blogs on the OBO fan page here real quickly. Oh my gosh, I'm running over. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, so what I do, it's here. I'm going to hit the scroll button here and look for my blog, OBO blog right here. So what it does, it's just the app. So anybody that's going through the OBO apps, and this does get used, all of our blog posts are right here. And that's why I like Network Blogs. And it allows people to subscribe right from here so they can follow. This isn't lit up for me because I already follow, but there's a follow button so people can follow it here. And it's just, we have 34 followers, which isn't, it's not a huge amount, but hey, it's 34 people I might not have gotten otherwise. So I really like the Networked Blogs app for sharing on Facebook. Okay, and like I said, it will also auto post to your wall for you. I don't recommend that. I like to post manually. Okay, LinkedIn also has a great blog application to import the feed of your blog. I do that, but then I also manually post my blogs into LinkedIn as well. Pinterest, great, especially if you have a great graphic image. That's why those graphic images are so important. Share those images to Pinterest, and then share on Google+. Google+, if you're not on Google+, I do a webinar on Google+ as well. It's fabulous for SEO, and if you're a blogger, you should have a Google+ account, and you should use it, especially for sharing your blog content. Okay. Bookmarking, you also need to bookmark. This is something you're going to do every single time you post. My favorite sites for bookmarking are Dig, Delicious, Reddit, Digo, StumbleUpon, and Tumblr. Those are the 6 places that I share every post that I do too. And those are all called backlinks, and backlinks are really important for sharing, or excuse me, for SEO. Google looks at backlinks as votes, so it's really important. And I talk more about this in my SEO, but there's lots of little tricks to this. If you want to get technical with it, join me for the SEO webinar, and I'll tell you more about it. But I also use this little tool called Shareaholic, which is a plugin. I'll show you that real quickly. Again, this is my little Shareaholic plugin, and it just makes sharing content super easy. So let me go back to this Pinterest. And I already showed you how it works with Tumblr, but let's just do, let's say LinkedIn. Let's say I wanted to share this post to LinkedIn. Let's pretend it was my blog post. And it pulls in the graphic image, it pulls in the headline, the paragraph. I can add a comment. My favorite aspect of this is post to groups, because I'm a member of a lot of groups, and I get a lot of interaction on my blog posts within those groups. So I'll just start typing the name of the group in here. Like, these are all the lots of different real estate groups that I'm in. I could post to real estate marketing. I could post to Real Estate Connect. I can post to Century 21 and Coldwell Banker and Better Homes and Gardens. So these are to their different groups on Facebook. And I don't do this with every blog post I write, but especially when I do, like I do an app or tool of the week blog post, or if I do a social media topic, those are that I think would be non-spammy content, I always share it to all the different groups, and it's so easy to do it with this app. So, but it makes sharing, it makes bookmarking as well. Like, okay, let's go to Delicious. It makes bookmarking easy. Oops, I just shared the wrong thing. Let me try that again. I'll do Digo. So again, it pulls in the link, the headline. I can write a description, add a tag, and click, and it's bookmarked. So I love this little Shareaholic plugin. Okay. Blog commenting, another great, a lot of top bloggers have used this tool to really bring traffic to their blog. So what happens is when you go out to other blogs within your community or within your industry and you make a habit of commenting on them on a regular basis, and you include a link back to your blog, it's like a little breadcrumb, and it will bring traffic back to your blog, and it helps you with SEO. Okay, so blog commenting can be a big help as well. And then exchanging blog roles, and I don't know, a lot of blog templates have done away with blog roles. People have decided they don't like sending their blog viewers to other websites, and I totally understand that. But I think there's a great way to use blog roles, and that is to exchange links with other top bloggers within your community or your industry. So you could go to that mommy blogger, and if she has a blog role on her blog, say, let's exchange blog roles. I'll put a link to your blog on my site. You put a link to my blog on your site. Then you could go to the high school and say, hey, you know, let's exchange, you know. So there's lots of, that's the way I would recommend using the blog role. Also, make sure that you include a link to your blog on your business card, in your email signature, on every brochure, in every social media site. You should have a link to your blog. So you have to really promote the blog everywhere you can. And then you're going to want to learn from other bloggers. So this is just a list of people that do a lot of blogging and that are known for their blogging. And I need to update this list as well. Some of these people have moved on to other types of blogs, but these are just some great people that you could follow and learn from what they're doing. And that's really one of the ways I learned about blogging, was just following other top bloggers. All right, and last but not least, thank you so much for bearing with me and hanging out with me on this webinar. And I have a special link for you. Again, this link is not in the slides either. So I hope you will go here. It's obio.com/SMOBO, and that stands for Social Media OBO. And if you click on this link, it's going to open up a page that has a promo code for you. if you're an existing OBO client. If you're an existing OBO client right here, and I'm going to go down so you can't see it, is a promo code because they want you to visit that page because we're measuring the traffic to that page. So visit the page, get the promo code. It's going to give you $10 off your next OBO home site order, and that is good. That promo code is good through the end of the month. You can only use it one time, but from now till the end of the month, you can use that promo code to get $10 off an order. Now, if you're not an OBO client, if you, I didn't sell OBO during this webinar, but I would love to sell OBO to you. So I would love for you to sign up for an Introduction to OBO webinar right here. It's going to be on Friday the 30th at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And we're just going to do a quick 30-minute webinar with you and take you through all of the OBO tools and how to use them, the benefits of using them, and basically explain to you what OBO does and how we could help you with your online marketing. So I would love for you to sign up for that. And if you do, and you're not already an OBO client, if you do that, we're going to give you a free home site. At the end of that webinar, we'll give you a promo code for a free home site, which is a $50 value. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to pull up my contact information, and I have to get to the power. There we go. And I'm going to go to the questions panel to see if you guys have any questions for me. Thanks, Sandy. Thank you, Tom. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys. I'm not seeing any questions here. I hope you'll hang out with me again on another webinar sometime soon. Have a fabulous day, everybody. Thank you so much.